Bro, I straight up love doing videos that would cost me subscribers, because if you hadn't heard the news over the last couple days, both the left and the right are freaking out about this South Park episode and how it depicted Trump, but for various reasons. And of course, if you didn't check the title, it's very clearly clickbait, because yes, while Matt Stone and Trey Parker did apologize, it's very obvious that it wasn't a real apology in very Matt Stone and Trey Parker fashion. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Heidel. And yeah, if you haven't heard, we're terribly sorry. South Park creators respond with humor to White House anger over naked Donald Trump. Speaking at Comic-Con on Thursday, Trey Parker and Matt Stone revealed they spent days negotiating with producers to show the U.S. president's genitals. Now, I have not seen the full episode. I really don't need to. I've seen, the clips that everybody is overreacting about. I say everybody, but I also want to poke some holes in that narrative. At the end of the day, this has been blown so out of proportion by the media, by X, by the White House, by, even the South Park creators themselves. And it's really unfortunate, because there are no winners here for a multitude of reasons. So we're going to do this before we do hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And, yeah, let's talk about this South Park situation. South Park creator Trey Parker had the briefest of responses on Thursday to the anger from the White House over the latest season premiere, which showed a naked Donald Trump in bed with Satan. We're terribly sorry, Parker said, followed by a long, deadpan comic stare. And if that's all he said about it, because again, this was Comic-Con footage, I really don't care, because look, we all know who Matt Stone and Trey Parker are. Like, there's really no reason to think that they would ever actually apologize for it. But, no, the real bitch of the bunch, the real shame about this whole situation is that it just wasn't funny. Like, and this isn't so like, oh, Leon, you're a Trump supporter, you voted Trump, and so of course you... No, that's not it at all. In fact, I do think that the baby bat bitches that did support Trump, that are having a melty about this, are the exact same as the left, that throw fits over every little goddamn thing, but they claim they don't want political correctness. That was the exact opposite. They didn't go hard enough. It just wasn't funny. Like, look, South Park in the past has gone above and beyond in terms of roasting everybody. It doesn't matter your religion, your political affiliation, your ethnicity. And the Trump jokes, they were so lame. They were so weak sauce. Like, dude, if you could be making fun of Donald Trump, like, there's low-hanging fruit that every comedian makes. But you're the creators of South Park and Basketball and Team America, The Book of Mormon, all classics. And you couldn't come up with more than just like, relax, which is what people like me have been saying. Don't get me wrong. Call out the Epstein stuff and the Epstein list. I'm all for it. As someone who voted for Trump, I am beyond and have maintained being beyond angry about how that whole situation was handled. But that's what I've been saying, was like, yeah, Trump was basically just telling everyone to relax and get over it. Like, that's not funny. You're making commentary. But we talked about this a bit on My Dual Shots podcast yesterday. So yeah, I'm actually really underwhelmed at the episode, because it didn't go hard enough. Conservatives or Republicans or whatever are claiming it went too far. The left is saying this is hilarious. It's so great to see, Trump be put on his place by South Park. And you got folk like me that actually value comedy and is like, that was it? Like, that was it? But yes, of course, there's more to it than this. Parker was asked for his reaction to the fracas at the stage in San Diego's Comic-Con International at the beginning of the animation panel that also included his South Park partner, Matt Stone, Beavis and Butthead creator Mike Judge, and actor Andy Samberg, who co-created the animated Digman. Completely unrelated, I can't fucking stand Andy Samberg. Never have. I don't like Lonely Island. Didn't like him on SNL. Like, Andy Samberg is such a talentless hack. Anyway, earlier in the day, the White House issued a statement on the 27th season premiere episode, which aired Wednesday night. Unlike the characters in the animated show, Trump is depicted as an actual photo of the U.S. president on an animated body. And I hated this, dude. Again, didn't hate it because I'm a Trump supporter. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a Trump supporter, but that's not the reason I hate it. I hate it because it was lazy. Dude, South Park has such an iconic style, and all celebrities always look South Parkified. I mean, they look like, George Lucas has been South Parkified. George Clooney has been South Parkified. Kanye West, Bono, hilarious fashion. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And then for Trump, you get lazy and just like slap a PNG of his face on there. Like, you could have given us South Parkified Trump. I don't know, dude. It didn't hit, man. There's also an extended scene featuring a hyper-realistic deepfake video of Trump completely naked walking in the desert and repeated suggestions that Trump's genitalia are small. The show hasn't been, and here's the White House's response, and this is just like the conservatives melting down over this idea of Trump being depicted in a bad light on a fucking comedy show. This is the White House response, and bro, you want to talk about bitch made? It's just a straight coping session. This show has been relevant for over 20 years and is hanging on by a thread with uninspired ideas and a desperate attempt for attention. Are you out your goddamn mind? Bro, I didn't hear you saying the show was clinging to desperation when they were like making all the jokes about COVID, or making all the jokes about, hey, make it lame and gay, in reference to like Disney going woke. What do you mean it has been relevant for over 20 years? South Park has maintained relevancy, honestly, only gotten better as time goes on, way more than things its competitors, like let's say The Simpsons, Family Guy. I mean, look, if you want to say that you don't like South Park, you don't find it funny, you don't like their depiction of Trump, alright, fair enough. We can agree to disagree, or really, we would agree there. I didn't like their depiction of Trump because it didn't go far enough, so we dislike it for opposite reasons, but we both still dislike it. But no, this is an abject lie. I mean, they just settled a multi-million-dollar deal for streaming rights. You don't do that with stuff that doesn't have relevance. White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers said in a statement, President Trump has delivered on more promises in just 6 months than any other president in our country's history, and no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak. Okay, dude. We're not talking about, like, Baby Trump or whatever it was called on Adult Swim. Like, y'all remember that show? I never saw it. I just saw ads for it. But, we're not talking about some, fourth-rate feminist stand-up comedian making the very obvious Trump jokes. Like, we're talking South Park here. And again, I don't recall any of y'all complaining when they were making fun of Lizzo and doing the Ozempic episode, or again, calling out the COVID stuff, or the special at Disney. Like, this is the definition of cope, dude. Like, y'all want to call the left snowflakes and crybabies, and don't get me wrong, they absolutely are. But so are you. Y'all cut from the same cloth. You're okay with jokes and freedom of speech, and we should be able to say and joke about whatever we want. Fuck political correctness until they're coming after your dude. If it weren't for fucking no moral, if it weren't for bad morals, you have no morals at all. That's what this boils down to. There is no such thing as intellectual consistency with these clowns. Later in the panel, Parker said they did get a note from the producers on the episode. They said, okay, we're gonna blur the penis. And I said, no, you're not gonna blur the penis, Parker said. Stone added the team decided to put eyes on the penis, which would make it a character. If we put eyes on the penis, we won't blur it. That was a whole conversation with grown-up people for 4 fucking days. Dude, I can just read this and understand, like, feel the annoyance that Matt Stone and Trey Parker must have been going through. Like, guys, we're on a streaming platform. Parents can put a parental lock on it. This is clearly an adult show. Are we really arguing whether we're going to be putting googly eyes on a cock? Like, that is so fucking stupid. Again, the FCC and all these censorship organizations, they're their own other thing. I've done plenty of videos lambasting censorship in art and comedy and media. But yes, I get the frustration here, especially considering all the video game stuff that's happened lately with, itch.io and Collective Shout. But again, check out the live stream of previous videos for that. The premiere also took aim at Paramount in its recent $16 million settlement with Trump, just hours after Parker and Stone signed not million, $1.5 billion 5-year deal with the company for 50 new episodes and streaming rights to previous seasons. By the way, that's another thing I've seen so many conservatives or Republicans or whatever throw fits about. Oh, well, why didn't South Park make fun of Biden during it? You guys fucking don't know anything. You don't do your research. You just, it's tribal, it's political, Biden this, Trump that. South Park has been in a fucking legal battle for the last several years. We've gotten like 15 episodes in 5 years or something like that, 3 years. And again, like the 3 I named at the top were specials, so they weren't even technically episodes. I mean, again, that was probably just like a loophole sort of situation. But the point is, also, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. Biden already was making plenty of jokes about himself. Do you think there's low-hanging fruit with Trump? Bro, there was some straight low-hanging fruit with Biden, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, these sorts of dudes that had their moral outrage about comedy while pretending they cared about free speech, yeah, they don't bother to look into any of these facts. In the episode, Trump sues the town of South Park where its residents challenge the presence of Jesus Christ, the actual person, in its elementary school. Jesus tells them they ought to settle. You guys saw what happened to CBS? Yeah, well, guess who owns CBS? Paramount, Jesus says. Do you really want to end up like Colbert? CBS and Paramount Global canceled Stephen Colbert's Late Show. I mean, don't care about that. But the efficiency of a South Park production, each episode is made in just a few days and can be finished within hours of going to air. Allow it to stay incredibly current for an animated series, which again is one of the things that makes South Park so great. And that's another reason that this is so infuriating. I get not every episode can be a hit, not every joke's gonna be a hit. Of course, especially when your show's been running as long as it has, there's gonna be some misses in there. But we're talking about Donald Trump and the Epstein list. Like, there's so much material. Like, Andy from Whole Night Dual Shot came up with like 3 or 4 better pitch ideas for better jokes while we were just ripping together on stream a couple days ago. It's frustrating, dude, because we know Matt Stone and Trey Parker are better than this. We know South Park is better than this. Like, I've seen some quote from other conservatives being like, well, do you think that they were going softball on Trump on purpose because they didn't want to really piss off the conservatives, but they also feel like they have to? No, this is just a weak-ass episode with some low-hanging fruit jokes. Some people were saying, well, they just got that $1.5 billion bag, so let's stop trying. Look, if they haven't stopped trying in the last 20 years, why would they stop trying now? When South Park has been, like, in a resurgence ever since the advent of woke ideology, ever since, again, characters like PC Principal. Like, the show got revitalized over the last, I'd say, 7 to 10 years. And again, half of that being tied up in legal shit. I don't know what next week's episode is going to be. Parker said at Comic-Con. Even just 3 days ago, we were like, I don't know if people are going to like this. Yeah, that's fine. That's A-okay. But you know what? I do want to debunk a little bit. I've spent enough time going at conservatives and going at Trump supporters. Again, myself as a Trump supporter, but definitely not a fucking conservative. No shade to conservatives, by the way. I got so many conservative friends. I love y'all. But you know your boy libertarian at worst, anarchist at best, burning that fucking shit all down. But no, to go ahead and throw a bone to the conservatives out there. All the conservatives I've seen on my timeline have not in the slightest given a damn about this episode. Let's talk about D-Day Cobra, our boy Jeremy, a known homosexual. Yeah, he is Trump fanboy numero uno, and he had the objectively correct take here. The conservative meltdown over South Park making fun of Trump is funnier than the actual episode. Bingo, bango, bongo. I've actually seen more conservatives critiquing other conservatives about the meltdown than I've actually seen conservatives having meltdowns. Like, do you remember, it almost harkens back to that Starbucks situation. Remember several years ago when Starbucks holiday cups didn't have, like, the Christmas tree on them or the word Christmas or whatever? Like, and apparently conservatives freaking out about it. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But I saw more people on the left, like, owning conservatives for freaking out about the cups than I actually saw conservatives freaking out about the cups. So, yeah, maybe you've got, like, small vocal minorities of Republicans and whatnot throwing a bitch fit about this, but yeah, most I'm seeing aren't actually doing that. In fact, I'm seeing so many of the, if not conservatives, at least Trump supporters and Trump voters saying, stop being bitches. Jeremy goes on to say, Matt and Trey are legends. Anyone crying about them going after Trump shouldn't be taken seriously. Agreed in full. Then he says, to be clear, I thought the episode was very underwhelming. South Park has given us some of the greatest comedy of all time. Trump is so easy to make fun of, and I feel they completely botched the opportunity. Being upset over them going after Trump is peak comedy, though. Again, Jeremy coming in with the objectively correct take. But what about Yellow Flash? All y'all on the left love to hate Yellow Flash. Oh, this stupid right-wing conservative MAGA. Oh, he's a fake nerd. I don't care the South Park made fun of Trump. They make fun of everyone. Relax, guy. Now, Flash saying relax guy in reference to all this is actually funnier than having Trump say relax guy, so well done, Flash. For everyone saying they didn't make fun of Biden, and again, this is what I was about to say, or this is what I said earlier. Do they really have a chance to do that? For the most part, they've been tied up in some stream battles since 2023 when season 26 ended, mostly regulated to those streaming movies. Bingo, bango, bongo. What about the internet's ultimate big bad in nerd culture? Nerdrotic, again, unabashedly a Trump supporter. South Park roasts everything and everyone. Don't be a pussy. So where are all these conservatives that are throwing a bitch fit about this? Again, I'm sure they are out there, but they're probably loud but vocal minorities. The most important aspect of this when it comes to the bitching and moaning and throwing a hissy fit is the White House themselves and the actual people in government being, oh, how dare these people use their freedom of speech granted to them by God that we supposedly actually champion, and that's why we're the right wing and the conservatives, because we value that, but how dare they use that to make fun of Daddy Trump? Shut the fuck up. Y'all are the exact same beta bitch-made snowflake pieces of shit that you claim the left are. Two sides of the same coin. Now, if you're a Trump supporter or you're a conservative and you didn't get offended by this, then obviously I'm not talking to you. But you probably don't need me to tell you that because you're one of the intelligent ones. No, like, bro. This whole thing blown out of proportion, and I think the ultimate L is on South Park and on the White House, because South Park really screwed the pooch in not going hard enough on Trump, and worst of all, not being funny in a comedy show when it should have been so easy. And the White House took a massive L because you couldn't handle some fucking jokes. You already just destroyed your reputation with the Epstein shit. And now you can't take some fucking jokes from South Park, who've been doing this shtick for over 20 years successfully? Bro, get out of here, you weak-ass pussies. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X. You can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. Not always about, animation or what's going on in politics, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon, and become a member. For $4.99 a month, you can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 200 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.